guys, we're on to page 6. So page 6 is the same as page 3. It's going to have a waterfall feature. And I have to think about this for a second. So this is page 5 and 6. So the spine's on this side. So I'm going to have my waterfall feature go to the outside of the book here. And then page 7 will be over here. And let me double check, make sure that's what I did on page, yes, say page 3. So I had my waterfall feature to the outside of the book. I'll do the same thing on page 6. Have my waterfall feature toward the outside pocket, not the spine. So I'm going to lay them down right here. So in the first one, I had given you a measurement for this piece as 2.5 by 7, and then later modified it to 2.5 by 6. So we're going to start with a 2.5 by 6 this time. And then you're going to have 4 waterfall pieces, which are 4 1/4, 4 1/4 by 3 3/4. So when you fold it under, you're going to have a 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 panel to cover. So you need 4 of those. And then you're going to have 1 flat panel with no hinge, which is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. These 2 pieces are going to get joined together to become the flap that holds this closed. Yeah. Okay. So the other thing I did on page 3 that I would have done differently is I would have tucked this hinge under this page like so. Now I didn't get my mat up soon enough, so I went ahead and attached it to the page like so. And for consistency's sake, I'm going to do the same thing in this book. But if you caught it before you laid yours down, I'm just bringing it up again so that you remember to attach it to the page first. And that way you can cover up that flange with your mat. So if you caught it after I did mine, hopefully you'll be able to do this. If not, you can attach it to the top just like what I'm doing. And I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna correct it here because I don't want it to be different than the other page. So I've already trimmed this down and it looks like it's ready to go. So I'm gonna get some glue on it, get it down, and then we're gonna locate our waterfall, and then we'll add the closure flap. Okay. Hope everybody's doing good. I've been asking people what collection they'd like to see next, and so far Farmhouse is winning. But if you guys haven't voted yet and have a preference, let me know in the comments. It will be considered, and whichever one gets the most shout outs is what I'll work on next. Okay. Okay, there we go. All right. And as I mentioned, this is page 6, which means this is the spine, this is the outside pocket. I'm going to apply my waterfall here. If I stack my waterfalls 1/2 inch apart, based on the hinge, I mean, if you do a 1-inch hinge, of course, it'll be different. But if you do it the way I've done it, you're going to have, I believe, 5 1/4 is the length. And let's double check. Where's the one? Here it is. So it is, that's correct. So it's 5 1/4 from the top of the first waterfall all the way down to the last. And I want to center that up and down. So let's do that. And I can't remember how far I came in. Not far. It looks like 1 inch. 1/2 inch. Okay, so we're going to move in 1/2 inch from the pocket, and then we need to center our 5 1/2 inch waterfall. So the first thing I'm going to do is put my 1/2 inch reference line in. So we're going to come off the edge about here. Okay, there's my line. Now I want to figure out, where do I start? So this is a Tim Holtz ruler, and one of the things I like is it's a regular ruler here. And of course you've got your grid lines, which sometimes can make my eyes googly, but one of the other things is you've got a 0 center and then counts out. So if I go 4 to 4 on each end, that means I'm in the center of my 8-inch page. So that's my center point. And I know it's going to be 5.5. Let me think that through. So 275 is my start point. So I should start here and it should end here. So let's lay it down and see if that happens. If I start here, do I end? Yep, pretty much. Well, it looks a little high. Oh, looks like it's right on. Okay. So now I just want a straight line going across at 275. Did I say that right? Did I get that right? Something's not right. I'm going to lay that in one more time. Because when I just looked at it with nothing on the page, it looked like it was too far. Because it's not 275. It should be 1 and just under 1 3/4. So 1. I'm going to do 1 5/8. So I'm coming down 1 5/8 right there. And that's going to be where I'm going to start. Oops, I turned it there. I was going to say I turned it and then I couldn't see it. Ha ha ha. And then I'm going to use this to help me stay straight when it's time to put it in. So I'm lining this ruler off the grid on the paper. There we go. And looking at it kind of all the way around to make sure it's square. Okay. So there is a benefit to using a grid craft mat. If you're not used to it, it does come in handy at times. All right, and the only one the first one's a fussy one. After that, everything just measures off the first one. So again, I mentioned this previously. I like to hold the flap with the edge of my hands until I get it placed so it doesn't grab before I'm ready, and I'm just pinching it on the side to hold it, lift it off. Okay, and it slid on me, so I'm going to double check my ruler. Okay, it's a very busy pattern, so even if I don't get it straight, it's probably going to be okay. You know what? I think that's too high. I think I may have gone too low. We're going to find out when I get it laid in. Okay, that looks... Yeah, it's going to be a little bit too low. I should have gone up a little. So there's two things I can do. I can just live with it and put my fourth panel in like so, and you can see it's going to be too low. The other option is to put my fourth panel back on top, which I think I'm going to put it on top, and here's why. I've got this arm that's coming up from the bottom that's going to help mask the fact that I didn't get it in the right spot. So we're going to put the top one. I thought this would be the top. I'm going to add one to the top. Pretty easy to do. There we go. Okay, and then I'll add the last two. this in. And then I'm going to come back with my kneaded eraser and take out my line here. There we go. I always do that. I don't always do it on camera. And this is, I love a kneaded eraser. It doesn't leave any residue, and it doesn't tear your paper or take the paper with it. Like some just pull your paper up when you're erasing. So there we go. So now the last piece is going to be this one. And then we can add a magnet. Oh, I did not get tape on it. Okay. Sorry about that. I got a phone call. I can't tell if I'm... Yeah, I am. Okay, for whatever reason my clock didn't start. I'm going to reset just to make sure I'm at... Oh, yes, I am. Okay, I see it now. Okay, so I got a phone call and that interrupted my filming, so I should have put Do Not Disturb, but I didn't. Anyway, we're going to work on putting this bottom hinge in, and I had not laid tape on it, so I'm going to share with you my handy-dandy tape tear tool. So if you don't have one of these, go to our shop and check it out. I use it all the time. It's pretty straightforward. It's an acrylic square with two reference lines on it. One's an 1/8 inch and one's a 1/4 inch, and then a little pop socket that holds it all together. And that's what I use to tear a straight edge on my tape. And I developed that out of necessity because I've got arthritis in my hands, and getting my hands in and out of scissors to cut my tape was taking me too much time. And then, so I started using just an acrylic square, and then it would get lost under my paper. And so I really like having a handle on it, and that to me is the big selling point. So if you don't have one, go check it out. I think they're very reasonably priced, and they save me hours and hours of time. And if you're a mini maker, you know what I mean. Okay, so I'm just adding this to the bottom, and I'm just eyeballing it. There it goes. Okay, and then this piece is going to be adhered directly to the top, but I think I might, I can go ahead and add it now. I'm going to pull back in page, I'm looking back at page 3, so it looks like, oh, because I shifted this. I was going to say it's not lining up the same way, and that's because this is higher up than on the other page. So anyways, I'm going to apply this flap directly to the top, flush and centered. So what I'm going to do right now is just lay it down and just draw a quick reference line right there. And then I know when I lay this down, I don't want glue to go beyond that reference line. And in fact, I'd like to stay about a 1/4 inch above it, so that when I come back to decorate this, I can slide it slightly behind it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add this, and then after I do that, we are going to place magnets. So I'm giving myself plenty of room, 1/2 inch. We'll come back and tack that down after we get our designer paper on. Okay, so this just needs to be centered left to right and flush across the top. And there we go. Okay, now we're ready for a magnet. So let's get some magnets on here. Last time I used 2 small magnets, and honestly, I don't think it was strong enough. And if you're using 65-pound cardstock, I would recommend using 2 small. I'm using a heavier cardstock, and it's just so heavy it's not staying put. So if you're using 65-pound, I think the small magnet is going to be fine. If you're like me and you're using 80-pound or more, I would suggest going with a heavier magnet. Or a larger magnet. I said heavier, but I meant larger. Like I said, normally I use 65 pounds, so this is very rare for me to use the large magnets. Usually the small's plenty, but this cardstock's just so heavy. So thick. It's not wanting to hold everything together. Okay. Nope, it didn't stick. Still didn't stick. Maybe I got too much glue on it. Let me try again. got so much glue on my fingers, it's ruining the tape. Okay, one more time. There we go. All right, so now all that's going to get covered up with designer paper in just a few minutes. But let me do a little housekeeping and we'll come back and take care of that in just a minute. Okay, everybody, let's go ahead and finish decorating page 6. I had to take a dinner break, but I'm back now. And as you recall, we've got our waterfall feature in, we've got our flap, our magnets. Now we're ready to decorate these. Okay, so exciting. Okay, I'm gonna put the little bird on front. I'm liking that. And I hope you do too. So she's gonna be my top piece. And I've already inked it. And these were cut apart in the collection. So that's how I came up with the size for this flap. And these mats, it's really based on the cut aparts. I thought they were pretty and I wanted to feature them. Did I? Oh, I was going to say, I thought I put this on top of the magnet, but it's on the flip side. On the flip side. Okay, here we go. I thought I was putting paper down right on top of the magnet. Oh, sorry for shaking the camera, guys. Hopefully that's better. All right, let's get this off. And then this is what I have chosen to go here. And you can use this as a journaling spot, or also, you know, you can place a little 3x3 photo here. Whichever you like. Let's get some glue on here. Okay. Voila. Okay. And then I trimmed out these 2 small pieces to go here and on the flip side. And I think I'll lay this down. And it's inked, so that's good. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to put another piece right down here. And this one is going to slide slightly behind this panel. Remember, we didn't glue the whole thing down, so it's going to slide on just under that. Ooh, I'm in desperate need of a manicure. I just haven't had time since I got home. Okay, so I stuck it under there and I'm going to slide it down into place. So it needs to come down a little more. A little more. There we go. There we go. And now, because this was open, I'm just going to put that little bit of glue. Or do I need to? It looks like it's adhering. Yep, it grabbed, so I don't even have to add it. But if these 2 sides, if this side was still lifting off where I tucked it under, I'd run some glue under there, but it looks like it's gonna hold fine. All right, so that is done. Our hinge flap is done. I think I called it a closure flap in my description. Now we're ready to lay in the papers that are gonna go here. And I'm gonna use these feathers here. I thought that looked kind of neat with the bird. I just noticed it has words going this way, but I like the direction of the feathers, so that's the way we're gonna keep it. And I like the trim going down the side. Okay, so the next one is, what do I want next? Okay, this is what I chose, yeah. Okay, let me make sure I've inked it, and I have. Okay, and then the next one is this. And that's cute. I like it. I like it. And then the last one is, we're going to repeat this pattern right here. Okay, we're all in. Okay, now it's time to do the flip side. And we're going to start, so the flip side is going to be this pattern and this pattern. Yeah, so I think I'm going to start with this one. I like these across from each other. All right. Just checking to make sure it's inked. It is. Okay, here we go. This is the next one. Okay, back to the brown. And I've got the white stripe on this side. I think I'm going to flip this one so it's on the other side, just make it a little more interesting. It's starting to warm up now, guys. So if your temperatures are staying above 40 degrees, you can order your art glitter glue now. And it has been above 40 here in most parts of California. But it's getting close to that time again for you guys to start looking at purchasing your, or restocking up on your art glitter glue. I'll have to go and check our website, but it may not quite be up for sale. If it's not yet, then what I'll do is I'll make another announcement. This one needs to be trimmed a little. Get some more ink on it. And yeah, I can't live without it. It is my go-to glue. When I first started scrapbooking, I used to lay everything down with tape, but it's very time consuming, and also it's very expensive to only lay your pages down with tape, and heavy. The tape is a lot heavier than the wet glue. and it's a lot less forgiving. You can't slide things around. If you're using tape, once it goes down, it's down, unless you hit it with undo, and then you gotta wait for the paper to dry. So as far as the construction process, this is a lot more pleasant to deal with. Tape is nice, but it is expensive and heavy. Okay. Now I've had everything flipped one way, so I'm just sort of pressing it all into place so it's not wanting to jump up so much. So there is the end of page 6. So the next time we sit down together, which shouldn't be too long from now, we'll start working on page 7. Be back soon.